Oh. Mm. Mm. Ah. Mm. Ah. Give me a minute here, and y'all guys. Is the chat working? Hey, Tomcat, what's up? I'm eating something real quick. I just came on here live through the YouTube app today. I'm not been home from church long, but look at this. The reason I'm going live solo is just because, well, I think I explained that to you. But a friend of mine, I think around 4 o'clock today, will be interviewing someone that I want to watch. If I'm not there right when it starts, it'll be okay. I kind of want to be in the chat and support the channel. And the guy that he's interviewing is a pretty interesting dude. But if you can see, hold on a second. Hold on. Oh yeah, the milk. I ain't worried about it. Um, Mike Maranatha, who has a channel and is also a hip hop, like a positive Christian type. He's Christian influence, Christian mystic style hip hop. But he's also a writer. He writes, he does creative stuff. He had a little, it's not much, but it's a little bitty kit sent to me. It's a little kit, but for what it is, that's got the actual snare drum sound, and then you got a tom, which I'm going to work with the sounds. The sim to be a small little, kit made for a kid. It came with a stool too, and the stool's pretty sturdy. So, oh, yeah, you don't like rap at all, huh? Anyway, I like what Mike does. He does stuff that ain't just hip hop too, but and he's got some cool. He's got a cool channel. I like his channel. I was just showing that. He just sent me a text earlier in the week and said, he got my address, and then he sent me he got my address a while back, and then he sent me a text earlier this week about yeah. Well, don't get it wrong. If you go check out his videos, he don't fall into the same regular category of Christian rap. That's why I said he's Christian mystic, because he actually delves into a lot of things that I'm into, mind expansion and different psychologies and stuff. He's got a little series on his channel that he does some about the metatonia. I might be pronouncing it wrong. But if you're familiar with Carl Jung, Jung, my day's all right. Oh, okay, Templar Mark. Y'all, you'll have to forgive me. I had my glasses off, so all I saw was a T. I thought I was talking to Tomcat there for a minute, and I didn't realize that Templar's Monk. I didn't realize you had showed up because I was squinting and I was seeing the T, so I thought I was talking to Tomcat. Tomcat, I'm doing good. As you heard, I'm explaining. Well, I'm trying to do several things at once. I'm trying not to eat with my mouth full. And then Yeah, it was pointed out to me that because I'm drinking a little bit of milk. That I should clean the mustache, and yeah, I do that. But today I made some bacon and eggs. That's what I had yesterday evening too. So I had a good. I went to church. It was a good service. Had a good time. You know, I always feel better when I go. I don't go all the time. I don't think that anybody has to. You don't ever have to step foot in an actual building called a church, like to know and have a relationship with what it is. But I'm grateful. So what I was saying is when I get done here in this second, I'll pull the thing I have the phone on. Yeah, juggling a person would be hard. But so I just was like, man, I'm not gonna go through Restream because if my friend is gonna if he's gonna be streaming about 4 o'clock today, and he's from England, so I don't know what time it is for him but it'll be 4 o'clock my time. And it might not start on time, but I want to be there. Go on, girl. Get out of my nose. Or get out from here. But somebody will get it. I just threw something down. So, yeah, it's just a little bitty drum. It's a little kid's kit. And most of the ones that I've ever seen or played on that someone had or something, they didn't sound all that great. I was relatively surprised yesterday when I unboxed it, set it up, and I just set up I just put the phone on and I just recorded a couple little short videos of me just attempting something. And when I played it back, it actually sounded pretty cool. Okay, so if it's 4 o'clock our time, Central, then 6 hours. Okay. I mean, I say 4 to 5, 5 to 6, 6 to 7, 7 to 8, 8 to. So he'll be starting about 8 or 9 o'clock his time. He's probably basing it on whatever the person he's interviewing's time is. I'm sure that's what it is. So, and thanks for being here, Templar Monk. I haven't. Well, there we go again, getting some milk on my mustache. That means it's good, don't it? But what I'm going to do before we end this stream, if y'all stay with me for a few, is I will pull the camera back and arrange it and just kind of like play a couple little beats. Like I just got it yesterday. And like I would have never thought to myself, like if I'd been in a thrift store or something and maybe found one and was like $20 or something, I might have bought it just to mess around with. But what I like is it does have a little bass drum pedal. Now you can see the only thing that I have a difficulty that I don't like is your bass drum pedal. See how much space you have right here? You should be able to slide that further up on there, but it don't clamp on, like it's just barely clamped on there. So, but hey, a person can't complain. Mike likes hearing me play on the buckets and on the tubs that I have, and he just surprised me. He told me earlier in the week, he said, I've got something coming to you, and he sent me a thing that showed that it was coming from Amazon. So this stream is going to be me. I'll try to wrap up this evening here in a minute. I might not finish this meal. I might save some of it and eat it after we Anybody just tuning in? I saw there a minute ago there was like it showed 8 people. If you're just tuning in, I haven't really got rolling yet. I'm trying to eat it a little bit. And then I'm going to try to set the camera up and pull back a little ways. Let y'all see me just tinker around with this little drum kit that a friend, Mike Maranatha. By the way, if I had a link and I could share it right now, I'd share it. But you can go check out his channel. It's just under his name, Mike Maranatha, like Maranatha or something like that. Anyway, you can figure it out. But he's, like I was saying, he's definitely not a typical Christian hip hop type artist. He delves into some regions that most traditional people probably might not even understand. And if you go check out his video series that he's doing on some of the Carl Jung teachings, those are really cool. He talks about the dark night of the soul and stuff. If you've ever heard of that, I know about it because I've studied Carl Jung or whatever. And so I know and follow, like I kind of know what he's talking about, and he's presenting it in a way where people can. He's presenting it in a way where if you haven't ever read any Jung or came across that philosophy or that psychology, you can understand it fairly easy, the way he presents it. Anyway, I'm very grateful that he even took the time to place an order for anything. I would have been grateful for whatever he sent. I'm just grateful to have a good friend, a spiritual brother. Same with you, Tomcat. A lot of you guys I feel connected to. We're getting to know each other a little bit, the best that we can through distance and an online relationship, Well, it's more than online because I have some of y'all's contacts. I don't want to talk about who I have personally contact with and who I don't. Although I've mentioned that Mike has a personal way to contact me, so. But what I'm about to do, let me put this plate up, and then we'll, I don't want to do a lot of playing. I'm just going to mess around with it for you guys, just to see it. Let me show you. If you're just showing up, okay. Oh, Tomcat, is that what is that? Is that a link? Is that a link to the channel I was talking about? If it is, I appreciate it. I mean, or if it's a link to your channel. Also, anybody that's watching, you can go check out Tomcat. Tomcat's World is a channel. He's like I said, getting to know him, kind of like we call each other brothers and stuff, It's nice to have to be building some connections with people that seem genuine. That's what my main purpose is for being on. If I'm going to be online, I want to make real connections with real people and try to influence people in a good way if I can. And I think I'm doing all right. But it's not like. Uh-oh. I thought I had the phone charging. Anyway, what we're going to do. Give me a second. Let's. I don't know if you want to see it. Let me pull it back and just give you an angle kind of for a minute. Let's see if I can do this. And the main reason I don't want to play for too long is just simply, well, it is, the neighbors ain't going to be a bitch about it, but it's in the middle of the day. But I'm more like, well, I've been on that tub and that bucket and I've been pretty hard sometimes. I don't think you can see everything, but y'all just keep in tune with me. Well, you went and copied some kind of link and posted it there for us, so I appreciate it. And that's cool. Also, anybody else that's watching, if you would like to have a wrench, say so in the chat and I'll wrench you. Because when I'm on when I'm using Restream or now I don't know about StreamYard, but I've been using Restream and I think that's what I'm sticking with. When I use that, I can't even see someone's wrench. And I can't wrench anybody through Restream. I don't think I can. So what I have to do is, when I go live straight through the YouTube app, I can give y'all a wrench like Tomcat's got. Now let's just see what we can do here. And then I got my storage bin over here turned over. You know, to kind of sound like a, yeah, I don't want to, I know it's in the middle of the day. It's nice. I'm not playing that loud, I don't think, but it sounds louder to me than it, you know, probably. Someone, if they're in their house, I'm sure isn't really hearing it. Now, I can tell you this much. If I was on a full-size drum kit and playing to the max of how I usually play, it would be loud. Because when I play, even if I'm not playing with anybody, I'm like, da, 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 you know. Let's see it. And I haven't messed with this really a whole lot. So the sound isn't perfect. I will tweak it all out the more I do it. And what we say. Hey, thanks, Tomcat. Like I said, I'm not going to be on here real long. And whoever else is still there, like I said, if you would like a wrench, just let me know in the comment or in the chat. And when I get done playing a little bit here, I'll get the phone back over to me and I'll give you a wrench for future references, for future streams. And of course, I don't know who's watching until you say something in the chat. Tomcat, have a good day. Let's see. Oh, yeah, yesterday I was having fun at the end. Trying to do blast beats. I did it better yesterday. You got to understand, trying to play on this little tiny kid with his big ass. I'm a big old dude, you know. So, trying to see who's here. I look pretty. No, I'm not very pretty. Yo, I'm gonna be able to read y'all some comments in just a second. I'm just messing around with this little toy. It ain't a toy. It's really not a toy. It's made out of like, I don't know what kind of wood it is, but it's some kind of, you know, it is wood. It's just probably some kind of cheaper wood. You got a wood grain looking wrap around it. I like that. I don't know if y'all can see that. If you look at the, you see that? It's got a nice little finish, you know, the wrap. It's decent quality, I can say that much. It's decent quality. And I think I looked it up on Amazon. I think these little kits are like about $99. You know, it probably depends on where you're getting them. So, let me move this back closer to me so I can see what you're saying. I don't want to and not pay attention to what you guys are hollering or saying at me in the chat. Okay, thanks. And I would do more. I might do a little more before we... I don't know how I say your name, but I like that name. That's cool. Tillin. And then we got... I guess 360 games. Yo, I appreciate anybody that's shown up and watched a while for us or for me. I was explaining. Oh, and there's Leslie Stover. Hey, you weren't here just a second ago, were you? If you give me a second, anybody else that comes in the next few seconds, before we go, before I end, I was explaining Leslie. Well, I don't know what to really call you, but let's just call it that because I know. Anyway, I think it was Stryker, wasn't it? That's what I was thinking. I remember. Anyway, I was trying to explain to everybody that the reason I went solo through my YouTube app is that I don't plan on being on real long, but I wanted to come on. I did go to church today. I had a pretty cool, visit. It was a cool service. I've explained that. I'm not here preaching to anybody, so don't get worried about that. And not that there's anything wrong with it. It's just that's not. But what I was trying to do, Leslie, if you didn't see, is I was showing everybody after church. When I started the stream, I was eating, but a cool someone that I've been knowing for, I'd say you and Mike got to know each other sometime last year, so we've known each other over a year now. But Mike Maranatha, and I'm not sure if that link up there is okay. Yeah, Tomcat shared a link for Mike Maranatha's show, or for his channel. He's a hip hop Christian mystic artist, and he's got some pretty interesting videos he does on some like philosophy and different psychology. But he actually had this sent to me from Amazon. It's a small little kids kit, of course, but I'm surprised at how well it sounds, and it gives me so much more to play with than just that or a bucket turned over. You know what I'm saying? Like I do have, and what I like is this actually that's a pretty decent sounding snare drum. I'm not too happy about how I have the tom, but I'm gonna mess with that over this coming week. I'll be messing with that to just kind of get it sounding like I want it to sound to my ears. And that's what you have here. Let's see if we can do this. I wonder if I can do this. Like, y'all tell me if this works a little bit. I want to see if you can see my foot doing something real quick. Okay, and then let me turn this back around. Okay, let me see what y'all are saying. Okay, hey Betty, you just tuned in. I'm just showing off this little kit. Oh, and if you haven't already heard me talk about Mike Maranatha, if you go back in the chat, you'll see where Tomcat's World was here, and he shared the link for me. You can check out Mike Maranatha's channel. I have shared some of his videos on my community before. He's a Christian mystic hip hop artist. I know that's a lot to say, but he is who sent me this. So I'm just kind of showing you guys that that watch my channel and come into my streams. It's awesome to just have this little bitty tiny kit. It gives me so much more to mess with. I just got it yesterday, and like I said, the pedal is a little weird because it don't want to hold on to the bass drum too well, but it's still cool. I feel kind of nervous. I'm kind of nervous acting because, well, I just haven't really, even though it's a small little thing, I do have to have a foot pedal and I have a little bass drum and a little bit more to work with. So this week I'm looking at, I'm excited to this coming week to make that part of my, even if I don't do it every single day, because I don't always beat on a bucket or a storage bin every day. But when I do, I for sure plan to put some time in on this without being on camera this week, just to see what I can do. And then, because I just got to get used to how small it is. So that is exciting. And Mike's a good dude. I really just couldn't, to be honest with you, I couldn't ask for better people that watch the channel and support the channel. It's just it's a real awesome feeling to know I've made some good connections with other channels. Some people, maybe they don't have channels, but they're just subbed to my channel and they watch pretty regular, or they come into the streams and chat. And some of you guys, we've been able to connect outside of YouTube through email and then exchange different information. And that's even cool, because I just, like, if you didn't have the internet, I still was someone that enjoyed networking back in the day. Like in the 90s when I played music in some heavy bands and stuff, I did a lot of tape trading, a lot of that's how you got your music out if you weren't signed, you sent tapes out to magazines to review, you sent copies of what you had to other bands to see if you could hook up with shows and stuff, and they'd come to your town, play a show to your audience. You go to their town and play a show to their audience and stuff. Not very complicated, self-promotion, really. It's just with the internet, everything's more instantaneous nowadays. And, yeah. So I had said earlier, the reason that I wasn't probably going to play too much today is just because during the week, the neighbors are usually, like the neighbor in front of me that just moved in, they get up early in the mornings and are gone most of the day. And then the neighbor behind me, it's not that loud, but I still am aware and I like to be mindful. That's just how I am. Now, this is inspiring me to, what I need to do is get a couple of things in my life situated in the next month or so, couple of months, some things that I should have took care of a long time ago, get them taken care of. And then one of my goals by the end of the year would be to hopefully possibly have a computer in, God willing, and that I don't screw it up this time, especially if somebody else helps me out like they did last year, and that just sucks. I really hate that I did that, but we're not going to talk about the past. And then I figured that once I have even as long as I have something that I can hook an electric drum set to and work with, because, if I have an electric drum set, it'd be nice to have the computer so I could do stuff and then record and then try to work on something. So one of my goals has been over the past few years is eventually to get some kind of electric kit, so that I can have the headphones on and I can play any time of the day, any time of night, and it's not going to bother anybody. And I think that's understandable. So, I don't know. I'm just excited. Like I said, I went to church today, and I don't think a person ever has, you could never step foot into a church building ever and still have a relationship with the Creator. So, when I talk about going to church, that's just because I do enjoy going when I go. And, I've been kind of inconsistent lately. The past few months, it's been, I might go for 2 weeks, and then I don't go for 2 weeks, and then I go a week, and then I skip another week, and then, it's but to get 2 weeks in a row was a good feeling, and then next week's Easter. I won't probably be there next week unless I'm sick. And what do we got here? Let me see if you said, okay, you have a work in a bit. Well, I hope that you have had a good day. Betty, and Leslie as well. And then Tillin, I really like that name, Tillin. I don't know if they're still here, but that's a new name to me. And get Eggs 360 Games. I don't know if you're still there, but I appreciate everybody that did show up. We had about 8 or 9 people at some point. I think maybe even 10. I wonder what I could make it sound like right here. Let's see if we can get a better pop. Yeah, see? Tighten that up, it's an even better sound, better snare. Now, this heads might bust easy, I don't know. But I don't plan on beating the heck out of it. Okay. And then I think I'm about done with that. Another reason I don't really want to play any more than that, and it's nothing against my friend's grandson, is if he's over there visiting. I think I might have this set up a little bit wrong. I'll probably look at this tomorrow or later today about if I'm doing something quite wrong here. But also, I didn't want to keep playing so long that he starts paying attention. I'm in here beating on an actual drum set. And if I'm live, I don't really want to have someone, unless I already asked him ahead of time and got permission. I don't want to have him come in and be on camera or anything. But he has been on the channel before. Colton's his name. When he's come over here before, when we do little paintings and stuff. And last year he'd come over. We'd go find rocks and stuff, and then we'd come back and spray paint them. Or I've got this acrylic paint, and we'd just mess around like that, or get action figures and stuff I got, mess around trying to customize them and stuff. And that, we haven't done anything like that in a while. And he's kind of going through some stuff. The kid is. A few months ago, he kind of well, there's been 2 different times where he's kind of been real rude and stuff to other people, but he had been rude to me in a way that he had never been. And so I knew something, I didn't hold it against him, but there's something going on at his school. I think he gets bullied and stuff. And when that's going on and he don't know how to handle it, then he's lashing out at his grandmother or his mama or me, anybody that generally he is fine with. But that's going to happen, People, unfortunately, people when they're young sometimes can be cruel to each other. Well, we can be cruel as adults too, so let's not dwell on that. I try to do my best to be as kind as I can. That's my mindset. Some people sometimes make it harder to be kind, though, to them. And, guys, let me check the time, too. Okay, we're almost at 2 o'clock. Yeah, like I said, Jay Stab is going to do an interview this afternoon on his channel with Boss Faustin, who is a cartoonist / comic book artist. He also has wrote his own stories and stuff. But he's crowdfunding something called Pigman now. He's got an interesting story. He's an ex-Muslim, or like a form, he was raised, I guess, Muslim. It's weird because he's white, but he was raised in a Muslim family, and but he has not been practicing in a long time. So his story has to do with something, a superhero, an ex-Muslim that's trying to fight terrorism and stuff. So it'll be interesting to see Johnny talk to the guy. And Bosch also does live streams and stuff. And I'm just getting to know who he is over the past couple of months since he came into Comicsgate. And he's an interesting dude. So I'm going to have fun trying to watch that stream this afternoon. That's another reason you won't that I didn't come on with Restream. Try to have guests on today. I was going to, and I had planned, but self-destruct, I think, ended up being spending. I don't know. I think he woke up late yesterday, and he never did. And then a lot of the people that might be interested in coming on my stream or something will probably be watching Johnny also. So, but Destruct is talking about maybe doing a stream after Johnny's stream, which would be later in the evening. And if he does and he wants guests, I don't know if I'll be up to going on or and be on a panel or not. Usually when I do, it's not for long. But anyway, I don't want to bore you guys. I'm trying to think of anything that I need to maybe touch base on before I was. If there's anything I need to maybe talk about or offer as a piece of information or anything before I decide whether to end this. Yeah, I think it's fine. You know, sometimes I think that I end them too soon. Sometimes I don't know. But, you know, it's like I just go with how I feel. And whoever's just popped back in, it shows that a few people might have just, somebody new might be watching. If you just tuned in, I was playing this little drum kit. It's a little kid's kit, kind of. Well, yeah, it definitely is. And it did come with a stool, but the stool's pretty small. So I'm sitting on my chair. I played this a couple of different times for everybody just to kind of show y'all. And I've already explained who sent it to me, and it's somebody with a channel, Mike Maranatha. You can go find his channel on YouTube if you want. He's got some pretty good music, hip hop music. He's got a few kind of rock alternative style songs too. Uplifting stuff, positive message. But that's who sent that little kit to me because he caught a few streams of mine and liked it when I was beating on a bucket or something. So I'm very grateful to have people out there that, you know, look out for me. You know, I only hope I can do something of the such for someone else in the future. You know, like I try to remember when I'm to the good, I try to remember to pay it forward. You know, there's a lot of times that Grey Cloud is not to the good and has to rely on strangers and stuff. And right now, I'm really doing pretty well, so I'm happy about that. Got a pretty good stocked up freezer of meats and stuff. Still got some money on my card and a little bit of cash. So, you know, we do still have a couple of weeks, but if I manage everything just right, I think I can get by pretty well without too much problems this month. Okay, guys. And I think because there are a couple things I probably am going to do that I think is necessary. I may do some writing today here in a minute. If not, I might mess around with some drawing. Something creative at least. I think what I'm going to do is tend to the drum set more during this coming week, like I said. Like tomorrow probably between 10 and 12 o'clock, like anywhere from 10 in the morning to like 1 or 2 in the afternoon, I'm going to mess around with this little kit and try to see if I can come up with a few more things. And if I come up with something, you know, and also I do know how to, I mean, I can play and, let's see. Well, I'm going to speak a bit of truth. A bit of truth about me and about you. I'm going to speak a bit of truth. A bit of truth about me and about you. About what we all can do. To help our dreams come true. Yeah. Anyway, I was trying to see if I could still do it. It was something I used to be able to play a lot better at and do some words to on an actual kit. So I just now attempted to do it on that little kit. And that's about it. And then Leslie Stover, thanks for being here. And like I already told y'all guys, I didn't plan on being on real long. We're getting close to 2 o'clock. So what I'm going to do is probably wrap this up here in just a second and call it a day for, well, I'm going to call it a done stream. And then we'll just see what the rest of the day brings. Because I was kind of getting tired there in the service, and I don't know why. Well, I do know why. I slept good, but it was kind of like periodically. And I woke up a little earlier this morning than I wanted to, but I went ahead and got started like pretty early. Not long after daybreak and stuff. So I was up a few hours before even having to go to church. So that was like, I found some stuff that I wrote here in this notebook a while back that interested me today. This notebook goes back to like 2023. It might be even a little further, but I have some of it dated, and some of this was stuff I would take this notebook with me to church and write down. Either some of it would be poetry, and sometimes I'd write notes. And I was trying to think of something that I'd seen in here that I wanted to maybe share at some point. But this is interesting. What I've been searching for is right here in this moment. Pen to paper in a calm, cool morning with my first walk behind. I'm letting the day unfold as it's shown to me. You know, that's just like a little journal entry. Oh, here you go. Anyway, that's for me to kind of go through, and there's some things in there that I found today that were old from a year or two ago that I want to try to pick out for either doing a little short video where I'm reading it as a poem or something, a spoken word, or I want to keep it as reference for another live stream, like one day when I'm just by myself, maybe, or even when somebody else is on and we're just talking about different things. Maybe someone's sharing something they wrote. I can pull some of this stuff up out of the air. What I noticed today was I really could stand to get a new notebook and go through all of this and rewrite it and maybe edit some of it, tweak it, make some better stuff out of it. So that is another thing that I might do sometime this week, is get me another notebook just for that kind of stuff. Because I've got a notebook specifically for Hero and Dog. So I appreciate y'all being here. You can tell I'm a little, I feel like I've been nervous the whole time. I don't know why I get nervous. I've done this a million times now. But somebody and I was talking about this a few weeks ago. Even when I played music all the time and was used to playing in front of crowds, right before, like right before it's your turn to go on and do your thing on stage, there's always still a little bit of nervousness. And I think that comes with the territory of anybody that's doing something publicly, whether it be public speaking, could be a preacher, a pastor, it might be, someone that represents a certain company and they're the spokesperson or something. Or, for instance, just like now, me being on YouTube and putting myself out there into the ether. So, but it's nice to be able to do this. If I didn't have the internet, I would be a lot more. I'd probably have some other. I would find things to do, but I would be probably a lot more lonely. I don't know. If you didn't have the internet, I'd probably be making myself figure out how to get out and make acquaintances and stuff somewhere. But anyway, this is a way for me to reach out to people and people to reach out to me. So I appreciate each and every one of you. And I say anyway too much. But I appreciate you being here. And I hope y'all have a wonderful day. I hope your Sunday was awesome so far. I hope the rest of the day continues to be really well. And I wish you the best week you can possibly have. Know that to be true. I hope. And I want you to know you're not alone. You're not alone in this, okay? Like, whatever it is, whether you're young, you're old, whatever, we got to remember we, we're not alone. Thank you, Leslie. Thank you. And I'll talk to y'all later, okay? And you know how I say it here? I say ditto. That means I love you guys. Till next time, Mr. Grey Cloud, say to the eternal moment, over and out. Well, ditto.